What a night, what a spectacular event at Tottenham Hotspur. The king of heavyweight boxing putting on a tremendous show again. 59,700 and I think 69 people we had in there.
It's amazing, it was amazing.
On the 3rd of December.
Yeah. Outside.
It's like nothing I've ever seen. I don't know if we'll ever see anything like it again. He is a one-off. He is, I think, unbeatable. And we're soon going to find out, because I think now the plan is to move forward and set up a very, very big and interesting and exciting 2023.
Can't wait.
So we're all here. I'm sure everyone's got a lot of questions. Please feel free.
And there's no obstacles in the way of making it, guys. No obstacles. Questions? Question? Put your hand up.
Tyson, was it hard inflicting someone in late rounds on Dell? He's such a tough geezer. It's hard to watch something.
Yeah, listen, he's a tough old boy, Derek, and I got to commend him. I got to tip me hat to Derek Chisora, because he's an absolute warrior. And he took a lot of heavy punches. Maybe they left him in too long. But I was very happy when the referee stopped. He took enough, you know what I mean? He was tired in there and shaking a lot of heavy blows. We're not in there to do serious damage to each other. It's a boxing match, and I was happy to see it finished. So yeah, big shout out to Derek Chisora as well. Yeah. Yo, check. The sun don't shine forever, but as long as it does, it might as well shine together. Business before pleasure. Who you know do it better.
We didn't get a song in the room tonight. What was that?
I was overwhelmed. I couldn't think of the words. It was like 60,000 people in here in December. Hard times, and a lot of people were saying, "Oh, this fight won't sell. Yada yada yada. It's going to be a terrible fight." But it was far from a terrible fight, and guess what? It did sell. And 60,000 British fans screaming Tyson Fury's name and going off the trolley with that ring walk. What a ring walk. But I'd just like to say, while I got the opportunity and I'm thinking about it, a massive thanks to Frank Warren and Queensberry and Bob Arum for putting this show on and sticking to the word and delivering yet again. And Frank, I call him the magic man, and it's definitely true, isn't it? Because whoever can sell a stadium out in winter, in December, in the freezing cold, against an opponent that people said it's not worth watching, you know, deserves the blue Peter badge, in my opinion. So if anyone's got one, please give it to Frank right now. So yeah, and he's just got out of surgery, and he's probably drugged up off his tits right now, just to be here. So I know how much pain you've been through, Frank, in the last few months, and I wish you a speedy recovery, and you're an absolute gentleman. And Bob.
You can only have a magic moment if you've got a magic fight, and that's what you are. It's unbelievable. When Bob been in the business longer than me, as long as I've been in this business, I have never been involved with fights with so much charisma. A fighter that has turned his life around. I mean, it is a movie script. He's got Netflix to it, following him around at the moment, making a series with him. And you look at all of what he's done. He's done that with support, obviously, with his family, friends, but he's just a one-off, and I don't care what anybody says. He is, without a doubt, the most entertaining person in boxing since Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, and
without a doubt.
Right, and remember, boxing is a form of show business, right? It's entertainment, entertaining the fans, and there's no fighter in the planet today who's as much a showman as Tyson Fury, and that's why 60,000 people will come out in the dead of winter to watch him fight. 95,000 will come out in the spring at Wembley to watch him fight, because he's a showman. He's a great fighter and a great champion, But above all of that, he's a showman.
So the big question, Frank, really, sorry.
Sorry, Jack.
Did you want to add something?
Yeah, I was just going to say, you know, we talk about where we've got where Tyson's done and where he's come from and what he's done. At the end of the night, everybody stayed. They didn't all go home. They were there. They were listening to the stuff going on between Alexander Usyk and also Joyce. They stayed and they were happy and they were cheering. That is what happened tonight. And you got all this negativity that was surrounding the show, coming up to it, and some of these people were saying, you know, the tickets are not being sold. I don't know, what do they think? How do they think these people got in here? You know, go and ask Ticketmaster. They're the people who are in charge of selling the tickets. They're the ones we've done the deal with for the tickets. They sold them. It's phenomenal. You know, Bob's put on some of the biggest shows in boxing ever. And I've put on some big shows over here, and you know, some very big shows, but nothing like this. There's never been a take-up like this. This is just amazing, and it's down to a man who's got the most unbelievable personality, and all the other stuff I've said. Obviously the fans love him. This is a man who's had 3 books at #1, isn't it?
Yeah.
3 books at #1. To get the #1, someone's got to buy those books, and they've got to be interested in the person whose book they're buying. He's there. He's got this series going on now with Netflix. He's done the record for the charity, for mental health charity, and what he's done for mental health charity has been phenomenal. You know, British public love people who are men of the people, and he's a man of the people. He's been there, up, he's been down, he's clawed his way through his endeavours back to the top, and he deserves to be. He's got a loving family, lovely kids, and a beautiful, lovely wife. You know, he's the luckiest man out there. He's
very
brilliant.
blessed.
Tyson, you've refused all week to address.
I have. But now I'm ready to talk about it.
Okay, so you spoke to Joe Joyce, you spoke to Alexander Usyk in that corner in the triangle in the ring.
Yep.
The heads of your planning for 2023 are up there with you. What are we going to see in 2023?
Well, we're going to see the biggest year of hopefully my career. 2023, we're going to get them big fights that the fans really crave. First of all, let's talk about Usyk, because now I can. Before, everyone wants to ask me a million questions about Usyk when I've got Chisora to beat. And as we see tonight, Chisora's no easy pushover for anybody. So yeah, I'm ready, I'm willing to take on Usyk next, whether it's going to be in Saudi Arabia or back here in the UK. It's both places will be fantastic. Let's give the fans one champion, one name, one face. Usyk's up for the challenge. He came over tonight, so fair play to him. He's not an easy boxer to figure out. He's a slick southpaw mover with very good skills, Olympic gold medalist, and he's coming on some good form, so I'm really looking forward to the challenge. But for whatever reason, like I say, a lot of big fights, and Bob's here is 125 years old, and he can tell you himself, sometimes the big fights sometimes don't happen for whatever reason. But I've got a good feeling this one's going to happen. But if it doesn't for X, Y or Z reasons, then we'll have Joe Joyce at Wembley next year as well. But providing the Usyk one does happen, then I'll do him and I'll have Joe Joyce as well at Wembley. Why not? Get up.
And you've got to think about it, they're proper heavyweight fights.
Proper ones.
And more importantly, I think it'd be the biggest year ever for heavyweight boxing in this country.
For sure, and people have been asking me all night, like, who's a tougher fight, Usyk or Joyce? And in my opinion, Usyk's a slicker boxer, but Joe Joyce is a juggernaut. And I think that Joe gives me a tougher fight than Usyk, 100%. Big Joe, 6'7" and 19.5 stone, like a juggernaut coming forward at me, trying to smash me to pieces, or Usyk trying to steal a jab running around the ring, trying to make a point here and there. So I think that Usyk's a very good fighter. I'm not going to take anything away from him. He's the undisputed cruiserweight champion, and he's the unified heavyweight champion. So he's had a fantastic career, but I think that'll do a job on him. and I can't just think it, I don't just want to talk it, I want to prove it. So let's get that one on. But like I say, I do think the biggest challenge out there for me is Joyce, the Juggernaut. And I mention him a lot because I'm very impressed with where he's been and where he's come from. The guy should be Olympic gold medalist. He got ripped off in the final, in my opinion, and he's done everything asked of him. He's beat Brian Jennings, a world-class fighter, Daniel Dubois, a world-class fighter, and my good friend Joe Parker, another world-class fighter. So he's mandatory ready. And like I say, if Usyk can't be made, then we'll do the Juggernaut, and we'll give him a clash of titans for sure.
You have talked about needing a couple of surgeries though, Tyson. Do you think you'll be sidelined for a little while now?
We'll see. I'm not a doctor. I don't know, but from where I am now, I feel great. You know what I mean? I hope that I don't have anything to mess up anything. But yeah, I'm looking forward to a massive 23 starting. I hear all this talk of big money in Saudi Arabia. I even spoke to Prince Khalid. He might even be here somewhere. I don't know where he is. Before he was on his way into Chisora's dressing room to see him, and I said, "Are you going to put this fight?" And he said, "What am I here for?" So if it's as good as his word, it looks like we're getting it on. And Frank and Bob have been telling me it might be the first quarter of next year, end of February, early March. Yeah, so let's do it. I'm willing. Usyk looks like he's willing. Bob, Frank, their peoples are willing. So let's get it on like Donkey Kong.
Tyson, you've had your son by your side a week, your family, away from all the cameras and all the praise and everything. It's so important to share these moments, and you'll be able to look back in 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
I had you right by my side. Just a word to them, because I know it's special for you.
Yeah, I've had the kids here for the first time. I think they've been to one other fight, the comeback Sefer, but it's not really boxing. Professional boxing is not really a place for kids, in my opinion. And since they've got a little bit older, my daughter's 13 and Prince is 11, and I'm coming to the end of my career. Whatever I've got left, 2-3 fights left, I wanted them to experience it as well. So it's been good. It's been good to have him in the camp.
What was it like fighting in that freezing cold?
To be honest, it was, while I was walking, I was thinking, fuck me, this is cold. And then when I was in the ring, it was freezing. But then when I got fighting a few rounds in, you don't really feel the cold, the adrenaline's pumping, and it was, I didn't feel cold. There was a little bit where I was like, oh, this is good old Derek, I'm freezing. But apart from that, it was all good. Any more questions?
Tyson, what did you see when you looked into Usyk's eye when he was staring at you?
I didn't see nothing apart from a ugly little man. And that's what I seen. But good looks don't win world titles today. Because if it was about good looks, then I'd never have won anything, because I'm fat as a pig, aren't I? Bald head, lanky, clumsy. Whatever people have called me over the years, 99% of it's all true, isn't it? But it's not looks that win fights. It's the inside of a man that wins a fight. Rocky Marciano wasn't a big man, but he's world heavyweight champion. Tommy Burns was 5'7", still world heavyweight champion, knocked out Jess Willard 6'6". So it's not about the size of the man, it's the fight, the size of the fight in the man. And we'll see, we'll see.
What do you say when likes of Frank said, you think you're unbeatable?
Listen, we're only blood and bone. I'm only here for the grace of God, and I train hard and I dedicate myself to this game. I only started taking this game serious when I got to about 30. Before then, it was all fun and games. It was just like I was able to box people and beat them with natural ability. But now I've got Sugar Hill with me, and I've got my nutrition team and strength conditioning guys. I think we're moving on to the next level, and the 10 rounds that I got tonight were very, very valuable to me to take me into the next year for sure.
Tyson said maybe there are 2 or 3 more fights, so we're talking to Lance earlier.
Well, hold on a minute, Gareth.
Sorry.
Can you finish your question?
Oh, apologies.
You're jumping in the queue, Mosh.
Sorry,
Just listen, you're not seeing a real hunter in the stand back.
Yeah. Don't forget, I retired back in April, and I really meant it hand on heart. Frank was trying to come to me with exhibition fights, Frank, wasn't we? And I just said I don't want to box anymore. And I had 4 months of that, living at home with Paris and the kids and the dog and all that sort of stuff, the normal family life. And I suppose when you've been in the spotlight like I have, and been heavyweight champion for so long, and been boxing your whole life nearly, it's very difficult to live a normal life. And I always said, oh, I just want to live a normal life, just leave me alone in Morecambe Bay driving my own Passat round. But when I think about it, I'm anything but normal. I'm an abnormal load. So I have to, this is what I do. This is who I am. And this is what has defined me as a person. And if it wasn't, then I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be winning fights. I wouldn't have won 34 fights in a row. 24 knockouts, you know. And there we are. I'm an entertainer. It's what I love. My dad had a good point recently. He said, Tyson is like Frankenstein's monster. He thrives on energy of the crowd and the people. A bit like the old gladiators from the Roman theatres and stuff, to the crowd. That's me. I come alive. I come alive and I sap it all up like a sponge. And it makes me feel like I want to be alive. I love this. I'm living on the edge of my seat. It's the only thing that I can do that gives me happiness, sadness, scared, nerves. And I said to the boys, like, in the changing room, I really, really love where I am. Like, this is my comfort zone. I'm like, what? Being 60,000 people screaming your name and you gotta go fight one-on-one with somebody. I said, yes, that's where I thrive. That's my life. That's what I live for. But at 34, and my cousin Caesar said, you're only in your prime. I think he's right. I'm getting better with age, like a fine wine. But we'll see. We'll see. One fight at a time. And that's all we can do. One fight at a time.
Tyson, this is Kieran Wright from the NY Press. My question is, you're talking about Usyk, and you're talking about Joyce, etc. What's your opinion about Anthony Joshua, and also maybe also fighting him?
Nita. Zero. Not happening. I want to fight real challengers and real men who want to fight. Usyk come here tonight to do a fight, ringside, stood there, got in my face, he wants to fight. Of all the years, we live in the same country. Has anyone ever seen AJ do that to me? Get in my face at a fight and say, let's get it on like Donkey Kong? No.
We wasted 6 weeks on that.
And even Big Joe thought he was going to join the party. When he get Big Joe, he joined the gate, crashed that party. He went, I want a piece of this. I said, right, let's just have a Royal Rumble then.
Tyson, all the insults you've heard you sling around over the years, I think Rabbit is a new one. Why has Usyk got that one tonight?
I don't know, he just looks like a rabbit, doesn't he? He's got two eyes that are a bit far apart, facing opposite ways. He's got a big gap in his teeth like a rabbit, so without disrespecting him, he is a ugly little chavvy, isn't he? And he looks like a rabbit. So I think my dad nicknamed him the rabbit, and and I nicknamed myself the farmer, and the farmer will skin the rabbit, put him in a rabbit pie and eat him up for breakfast. And that's what we're going to do with him.
In the past you've labelled Usyk a middleweight, but overall where would you rank him in the current middleweight now?
But there is merit to this middleweight talk. When he was an amateur, when I was a super heavyweight, when I was about 17, 18, he was boxing at 75 kilos. And that's when he lost to Sean Porter as an amateur, 75 kilos. So it ain't just me saying, oh, he's a small man, he's a middleweight. There is merit to the middleweight talk. So he has boxed at middleweight as an amateur. I've never boxed at anything but super heavyweight. So I can actually say that. So yeah, there is talk of it.
Where would you rank him right now?
I think he's a toss-up between number 2 and number 3. Listen, you can never write off Deontay Wilder. So you can put 1, me, and then you can put the next 3 in a hat and pick them. Usyk, Joyce, Wilder. But I don't think there's anybody in the world that can take Deontay Wilder's power. No one. Usyk's a slick boxer, southpaw, and Joyce is a juggernaut, and that's a fight I'd love to see. If I fight Usyk, then maybe Joe can fight Wilder. Who here wouldn't want to see that? We wouldn't want to see the world's toughest man take on the world's biggest puncher. That'd be fantastic.
Tyson, you spoke about how hard it was for you to walk away when you had time at home. Obviously you're friends with Derek. Would you like to see him hang with gloves up now after the long career he's had, and how hard will that be for him to do?
I know where Derek's coming from right now, and I can't speak for any other man. I can't make decisions for anybody. Derek will have to make his own decisions, and he's been in this game long enough, he's a veteran, and he will make the right decisions, best for him and his family. For me, I'd love to see him retire, but still stay in the sport, because he's a legend of this game in British boxing. He's like a folk hero. People love him, and who wouldn't want to tune into Derek's fights? Always entertaining, always gives his all, and he's definitely a good fighting man, for sure.
Tyson,
been around so long.
Tyson, do you think that if you do fight at this level, it will be fighting spirit including the idea?
I'm not a boxing promoter, so I can't answer that question. But there is 2 promoters up here, maybe they can answer that question.
Of course it'll be for the 4 belts. I mean, I know there's Hearn's telling everybody it won't, but that's not his decision. And the fact of the matter is, the rotation of these belts anyway, is a fact. The next one up for a mandatory is the WBA. And the WBA have no problem in allowing a unification to take place for the good of boxing. Who wouldn't do that? So that's where we are. And all the other talk is, you know, it's the same old thing, like you won't sell tickets, no one watches it, you know, no one, you know, most of the stuff he said is a bit like, you know, when he picks people in fights, it's always, they're always crap picks. He always gets it wrong.
Any more?
Frank, what fight are you looking forward to seeing most next year? Was it the Usyk Fury or Joyce Fury? Which is going to be most next year?
Which one would I like to see?
Yeah. Forget the money from having Tyson.
I don't think, I mean, obviously, both of them are huge fights, there's no doubt about that. What would I like to see? I think the one I would like to see from my satisfaction is to see the Usyk fight, because I want to see Tyson get what he should be. Officially, I believe he is the best heavyweight in the world. He is, in my opinion. So he gets that. But I'd also love to see the Joyce fight because of the styles. I mean, it would be something special. So you know, getting both on. If Tyson wants to do that, we're getting both on. We get them on. You know.
Hopefully, in the first 6 months, we can get both.
Yeah. But that's again, that's up to Tyson. He's the guy who's getting in there, and he's got to be right. He's got to be comfortable with everything. Providing he's comfortable, then we'll get him on. And I've got
get
to
me in there. I'm like a high-paid escort. Show me the money. Let's roll. Let's rock and roll. Innit, Bob? We're not in this game for nothing. We're here to get paid and get laid. Come on!
Tyson, do you think Usyk is overrated?
Usyk, I think, listen, man's a good fighter, and we'll see if he's overrated when he fights me. That's all I can say about him.
You know you're not.
Look, let me say something about Usyk, and don't forget it. Tyson. He's a Ukrainian. Ukrainians fight like nobody else in the world. People didn't give them a chance against Russia. So much bigger country, and they knocked the crap, and they're knocking the crap out of Russia. Don't bet against the Ukrainian. He is, I think Tyson wins that fight, but Usyk is going to give him everything that he has.
Right, Tyson, well done tonight. You were brilliant. It's a pleasure to be alive watching you.
Thank you.
Derek Chisora was always there, wasn't he? Absolute warrior. Now,
yeah.
I'm hearing everyone say Usyk, Joshua, all these names. They're all different obstacles that you have to face.
Yeah.
All of us in here, all of us in the world have different obstacles to face all the time coming up to us. What's your advice for everyone listening around the world how to tackle those obstacles to get by life?
You know, life's a tough thing. You take it for granted that you can lose it quite quickly. For me, my life, I struggle all the time, but I set short-term goals, and I don't mean massive goals, but short-term, like day-to-day things. And I just take one day at a time, and I'm very happy to be alive and well. And if there is anybody out there, which I know there's a lot of people suffering, and it ain't always going to be like that. Look at me, I was 400 odd pounds, 3 years out the ring. Nobody in the world thought I was going to, I didn't even believe I was going to come back. I thought I was going to end up in a padded room somewhere. But yeah, I changed my life around, and here I am. I got back to the top of the heavyweight division when everybody wrote me off. And it just shows you that nothing is out of reach and anything is possible as long as you have faith.
Thank you so much.
One more question then, because
big man's got to take a shower.
Correct. Right, who is it?
Get him, because he has been trying to get a question in all night.
Thank you, Tyson. You have in the past that smaller heavyweights you find a lot trickier, they're a lot more nimble.
Yeah.
Usyk is widely considered to have the best footwork in the game. How do your legs compare to the version of Tyson Fury box Klitschko 7 years ago?
I don't know. You know, it's a tough question, and it's a long time ago, and age waits for nobody. But Usyk's older than me actually, so he's about 35. I'm 34, so it's an even match. If he was 22, it might be different. But he's an old man. He's had 300 odd amateur fights. He's worn out too. He's got about 250,000 miles on his clock. He's had 315 amateur fights or something. Then he's had about 20 professional fights. And I don't believe he's got the best footwork in boxing. No. I don't believe he outspeeds me either. Because if you look at the AJ fights, he was getting hit quite often. And he's marked up.
Derek.
Yeah, Derek really put it to him.
Yeah.
Derek had him 50-50 really, and listen, he got the decision, fair play, but it was a close fight. And even the American guy who he fought, Witherspoon, he was hitting him with shots, he was marked up, so he's not the hardest man to hit, even though he's a southpaw. I think my long range and speed and fence will do the job on him. And we'll see, I want to have a boxing match, why not? I think I'm faster than him, I think I'm the quickest heavyweight out there, for my size. Yep.
I have one last question. This is going off topic.
You have to be. No one's going to pick you, mate. You're going to have to come out of that. You. I'll beg your pardon.
Sorry. I was just going to say, sorry, going off topic. There's been lots of videos of Jake Paul, you know, and Tommy Fury always, because obviously Tommy Fury is your brother, etc., family. What's your opinion about Jake Paul and Tommy Fury? Do you think they're gonna fight, and your prediction, etc.?
Yeah, I think they should fight. It's a fight that the general, everyday, casual boxing person would like to see. And it's a fight that Tommy wants and Jake wants. So yeah, I think that fight should happen in 23. Maybe it could be on the undercard of me and Usyk, who knows?
And last question.
Right, give him this.
Last one from him.
Go on.
Tyson, my name is JP Smith. I run an organisation called Boxing Save Lives over in Luton.
Boxers what?
Boxing Save Lives. I'm not sure if you remember, but just over a decade ago, before you fought Derek Chisora for the first time, you came down to Luton and you had a whole boxing in the local of the actual shopping centre.
Yeah.
And lots of young people are still inspired by you. So what kind of advice do you give to young people now, boys and girls, who are thinking of taking up boxing?
I think that you should follow your dreams and follow your heart. And give 110% of whatever you're going to do. Anything worth achieving is going to be difficult. But at the end of it, if you can sit back and say, you know what, I achieved what I wanted to achieve, and even if you don't achieve what you wanted to, but you had a really good try at it, that's not failure. Failure is not having the guts to try. So yeah, give 110% and always remember to follow your heart and dreams. I was a little kid and I wanted to be world heavyweight champion. And here I am, heavyweight champion of the world. 7 or 8 billion people in the world, and maybe there's 1 or 2 heavyweight champions of the world, and I'm one of them. So anything's possible, and dreams do come true. Because I'm living my dream. I used to watch like Ali, Mike Tyson, and it was all the guys, Ricky and Nassim Ahmed on TV. Growing up as a kid, and I thought I want to be like these guys. And now here I am doing what I got to do, and entertaining like they did. Good question.
Thanks very much, guys, and thank you very much, Tyson.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
I ain't giving anything up, Gareth. I want a big 20.